Hello, welcome to the Political Conversationalist. My name is Ben Phipps, and we finished up, finally, last week with all those systems of government. The playlist will be linked in the description if you'd like to get all that background information. It's very educational, very boring. Sorry. But today we're talking about divisive issues. We're going to have probably a 10 to 12 video series on them. We're going to talk about gun control, abortion, transgender rights, gay marriage, immigration, all kinds of things that are hot topic issues in the news right now. So you might be saying, abortion is not really in the news right now, but it is in Ireland. Ireland just voted on a referendum, voting on a specific law that removed the constitutional ban on abortions. Now, I don't know that they've had any yet. I don't know that any abortion clinics have sprung up, or that the legislation has been drawn up and signed into law that allows them in some way, shape, or form, but the ban has been lifted. So abortion is still a very hot topic issue, not only in America, but in the rest of the world. It's probably the biggest divide between people who typically vote Republican and people who typically vote Democrat. So anyway, there are three types of people when it comes to abortion. I'm not talking about kids and babies and women, no. I'm talking about pro-choice, pro-life, and in between. So most people fall into one of those categories. Pro-choicers, they are for abortion. They say abortion is okay. And the vast majority of them say that the fetus isn't alive, it's a bundle of cells, it's not conscious, it's not a real person. They also cite that the Supreme Court said in Roe v. Wade that it was okay. So if the Supreme Court says it's okay, it's okay. Probably the most common argument is that it's her body, don't tell her what to do with her body. And then there are some lesser known arguments like a woman can't abandon her child in the same way a man does. There are also the arguments that pregnancy and motherhood, and this is a very rare one, don't hear this very often, that pregnancy and motherhood are just designed to keep the patriarchy going and keep women at home where they belong. Anyway, so one more quick thing they also say is that people will still have illegal abortions, which will just be really unsafe and cause a lot of infections and all kinds of horrible stuff. Now, there's also the pro-life side. Now, the pro-life side say that, the fetus is a person, just like we are. It's alive, just like we are. They say that killing an innocent person is murder, so it's murder to have an abortion. And most of them say, religiously speaking, from a Christian standpoint or an Islamic standpoint or a Judaistic, I suppose, standpoint, that it's wrong because of their holy book or because of their what their deity has said about it. And also there are some people who point out that there have been men charged with double murder for killing a pregnant woman, so at what point is it legally really a child? So I'm going to refute some of those arguments, then I'm going to tell you my own opinion on it and what I think should be done. Firstly, I'm going to refute pro-choice, and then I'm going to go refute pro-life. Oh, I didn't talk about the people in the middle. Sorry, people in the middle say in the case of rape or incest, it's okay, because it's traumatic for a woman to carry that baby to term. And there are also some that say, well, the age of viability, up to 20 weeks, that's okay because it's not a person. So after that, it wouldn't survive outside the womb. Okay, that's the in-between position. So let me refute the pro-choice side for a little bit. A man can't abandon its baby in the same way a woman can because of child support laws. Child support laws have been on the books since 1870. If you don't pay child support, you'll go to jail. There are plenty of people in jail who didn't pay child support. People will still have them if they're illegal. That is a good argument to make everything legal. You could say, well, people are still going to have cocaine even if it's illegal, so let's just make it legal. That's probably not a good idea. Well, people are still going to shoot each other if it's illegal, let's just make it legal. Not a good idea. So then they say it's her body, and it is, but the argument isn't about what she does with her body. The argument is whether or not the body inside of her is alive. That's the real argument. So that just ignores the question. If you believe the Supreme Court, I'm sorry to say the Supreme Court is very not trustworthy, and they tend to jump back and forth on different topics as much as they want to. Then the people who say the fetus isn't alive, I would like to refer you to the 6 characteristics of biological life, many of which, such as growing, can eventually reproduce, not inside the womb, of course, can respond to stimuli, consumes nutrition. Those type of things are part of those biological characteristics of life, and a fetus does supply, it does fit into most of those biological categories. And the pro-life side, I would argue that yes, a religious backing is good for you. It's very good for you, but do not force the entire world to live by your religion. So you can't say, well, God said it's wrong, so it's wrong. Well, that's true. You can believe that. But you can't say God said it's wrong, it should be illegal. Because you're trying to make people who don't believe in God follow God. And even from a Christian standpoint, I'm a Christian. That's trying to clean your fish before you catch them. I've heard that term in churches before. So to the people who say that it's the same as murder, we'll talk about what murder really is, in my opinion. And to the people who say it's okay in rape and incest, we have to talk about, do we wait until rapists are convicted? Because if they're not convicted, that can take many months. The baby will already be born by then. Do we take the word of women who say they're raped? If we say abortion is illegal unless you're raped, how many people will lie and say they were? To the people who say that it's not conscious, up until 20 weeks, it's not a real person. And the age of viability and consciousness, those are very shifting sands to build a foundation on. So if you say, well, the age of viability is 21 weeks, so 20 weeks before you can kill it, 21 weeks after you can't kill it, that number of weeks at which a baby can survive outside the womb has been consistently dropping over the last 100 years with medical advances. Eventually, you might can have some kind of major medical event where they take your baby out of your womb at 5 weeks. And they keep it in the hospital and they grow it up, and 9 months later you have a perfectly healthy baby. That might happen. I don't know that it will. I don't know that it could, but it's possible. And to the people who say, well, it's not conscious like we are, there are many people that aren't conscious like we are. There are toddlers and small children that aren't very conscious. And then there are also people with learning disabilities that aren't conscious on the same level as normal adults. So saying, well, they're not conscious so you can kill them, kind of gives you a right to kill a whole lot of people, and also gives you a right to kill any animal you want, being honest. So what do I think? Well, I think to argue the morality of abortion, you first have to prove the morality of murder. And I looked this up, and it took me hours to find someone saying why murder was wrong. So why is it wrong to kill someone for no reason? That's basically the question I asked. It took forever to find someone to answer it, and I found a philosopher, and I believe his name is linked in the description, part of that outline you can go to and read. Anyway, he said that it's wrong to kill someone because it deprives them of a future like ours, a future in which they will have, joyous experience and bring joy to the world and do good things and experience good things. Because it deprives them of their future, it is wrong. Now, you say, well, it's wrong because it's illegal. Well, the law is malleable. The law can change. You say it's wrong because my God said so. Not everybody believes in your God. So the only truly logical, completely in a vacuum reason that murder is wrong is because it deprives the people of a future like ours. That's the argument I use for why murder is wrong. So that's why murder is wrong. And a lot of people also say that's why capital punishment is wrong. And we'll have a video on that as well. You never know which way I'm going to swing on capital punishment. But they also say that, that's why capital punishment is wrong. That's why abortion is wrong, in my opinion. Because when you have a fetus, and you kill that fetus, chances are it was going to have a life like ours. It was going to have it was going to have joy in its life. It was going to have heartbreak in its life. It was going to have a family. It was going to have a job. It was going to have a life. And because you killed it, you took away its chance at life. You never know if it was going to be a serial killer, or it could have gone on to be a congressman. It could have gone on to be both. You never know what could have happened. And because you are depriving them of a future, it's wrong. So I believe abortion is wrong. But I understand, and this is where I'm probably going to make people mad, making abortion illegal right now might not be the best idea. And I cried when Ireland voted to legalize abortions, because I do believe it's murder. I do believe they're murdering babies, and it does hurt me. But this is an issue that has many facets and with no one solution. Many people say on the pro-life side of things, well, abortion's wrong, just give it up for adoption. And I believe in that. You should give up your baby for adoption before you kill it. But who's adopting these babies? No one. They're ending up in the foster care system for 18 years. And then they go on. They've never had a family that cared about them. They never had a family that loved them. They're not well adjusted. Many of them end up in prison. So what we need to do is fix the adoption and foster care system, and that's going to cost a lot of money. It really is. I believe that we should give tax breaks to people who adopt. We should give subsidies maybe to people who adopt. We should definitely check up on foster families more to make sure they're actually taking care of their foster children. And there are many other intricate facets of the foster care and adoption system, but we really need to fix that. That needs to be our priority. Secondly, contraception. My wife's pregnant. My wife wasn't pregnant when we were using contraception. We stopped using contraception, my wife's pregnant. Makes sense? You get what I'm getting at? So if contraceptive now is so technologically advanced, it has like a 97 to 99% chance of keeping you from getting pregnant. So why are all these people accidentally getting pregnant and getting an abortion? Well, we know how getting pregnant works. You have sex, you don't use contraceptive, you get pregnant. Did you know that at the health department in whatever city you're in, major city, normally it's if you're in a rural part of the area, the health department will probably be like in the city that's the seat of your county. So like say if you're in Gaston County, North Carolina, Gastonia will probably have the health department. So they'll give you free condoms, as many as you want. You can take 300, well, I don't know if they'll give you 300, but they'll give you free condoms. And you can just take them, and because if you do that, the chances of you getting an STD are less, the chances of you getting HIV are slightly less, still not a good idea to have sex with someone with HIV, and the chance of you getting pregnant are greatly diminished, and it's a lot cheaper to use a condom than it is to have an abortion. So the health department loves giving out condoms. Then also, there are many medicinal contraceptives. There are orally taken pills. There are inserted intrauterine devices. That's what they're called, intrauterine devices. There are slow-release hormonal things that are also inserted. They have some that are inserted in your arm, some that are inserted vaginally. They also have, of course, condoms. They have pills you take every day. They have shots you take once a month. There are so many different ways, and they've been around long enough. They're safe. There's so many different safe ways to prevent pregnancy that I don't believe wholly that all these people are getting accidentally pregnant. So, in my opinion, we need to give more money to the health department, because if people don't want to use condoms, let's give them pills. If they don't want to use pills, let's give them shots. If they don't want to use shots, let's give them the little implantations. Because I'm fine with that. I'm fine if my taxes go up 5% to prevent abortions. Now, if we fix foster care and we fix adoption, and we make contraceptives free to everyone, which I would have no problem with, and if you're truly pro-life, I don't think you would have a problem with, and I think then you could make abortions illegal because people would need them a lot less. One quick challenge to all my pro-life friends out there: if you're truly pro-life, look into adopting a child. I plan on doing it in the future. Sometimes it's really expensive, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you need a lawyer, sometimes it's a lot of paperwork, sometimes it's difficult. But if you have the ability to take care of a child, you have the moral responsibility to help a child in need. Anyway, that's been our video for today. I'm sure it'll be controversial. I'm sure I'll get fussed at by somebody in the comments. I'll get a nasty email. I don't care. I hope you understood the logic behind what I thought and the solution for what I believe should be done. Hope I presented that all well. If you learned anything today, leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below with how much you didn't like what I said. And we'll see you next time, where we're going to talk about gun control. Thanks for watching.